Hello, this is Mark. I work at one of the Apple retail store. Welcome back to the program. Well, firstly, if you are a Mac expert or if you are a computer engineer or you've been keeping up with Mac websites or whatsoever, please kindly turn off these clips. Don't watch this clip because this clip's gonna sound very stupid. Okay, the topic is very outdated and antiquated. Okay, but if you work for a Mac store like me, and I work for iPad division, I work as a personal shopping coach, and I teach people how to use that Mac, and I help people to design, and I teach people how to use the Mac OS. I try to sell MacBooks or MacBook Pros, iMacs, and everything. So I work as a frontline salesperson at the store, and every day that you have to handle one question, up to 30 or 40 times a day. The question is, you will see a customer come into the store, and the customer will ask you, Mark, tell me, what is the difference between the iPad Wi-Fi and the iPad 3G? Okay, and then I have to address the concern. I have to address this response. Well, sir, let me explain briefly because the iPad 3G has the SIM card slot, and it allows you to insert a SIM card inside the iPad. Okay. Well, of course, the Verizon one doesn't have the SIM cards, but for AT&T, for the GSM one, it has a SIM card slot. So then you can use the cellular data. You can use the cellular networks to, hook up to 3G networks or Edge or GPRS, whatever the networks that the iPad can pick up. And then the customers will ask you back one question, and always ask this question. They will ask you, Mark, well, I can insert the SIM card inside the iPad. Can I make the phone call using the iPad? Can iPad be a telephone? And because, well, Samsung Galaxy does, it can be a telephone. So I reply, well, sir, well, it's not possible to make a phone call because it's not the phone. Okay, so what exactly is the iPad? Okay, and this time I will not put my label on this, because if I put a label, whether to call with a tablet or app-centric device, certain people will like or dislike this particular label. I want people to enjoy these products because the product fit them. Okay, so the thing is, firstly, for sure that we know that now the iPad 2 is faster than the iPhone 4 because it has dual-core processor. Okay, if you read the CNN reports, there was a very interesting story around like 2 or 3 days ago that I love this story. They said there was a university and they do some sort of research about the speed of computers in certain eras. Like they said, the speed of the iPad 2 is as fast as the fastest computers in the world in 1985. At that time, they said we needed huge rooms with lots of waters for, to lower the temperatures and lots of fans for ventilation. Now, in 2011, the iPad 2 is as fast as that supercomputers in 1985. Okay, so this and Apple claims that CNN claims that the iPad 2 is 10 times faster than the first iPad, and I have to say I agree because every day I have to do demonstrations of the iPad 2 up to 7 times a day to groups of people that come to the Mac store, and I teach people, I demos all the things about the iMovies, the PS Express Photoshop for iPads, and how to flip through pages using iBook application. And I found that the second generation iPad was very fast, much faster than the first iPad. But I cannot say The second generation iPad is 10 times faster than the iPhone 4 because the iPhone 4 has more RAM compared to the first iPad. The first iPad has only 256 and the iPhone 4 has 512 megabytes of RAM. So the iPhone 4 might be, well, 5, 6, I can't promise slower than the second generation iPad. But I give you the secret, you don't have to worry about this topic very much. Nobody really cares about that. Okay? And the iPad has a larger screen. The thing is, like for instance, I really want to read books about the iPad, right? So I really want to read books, and here is the size of the iPad book. I need some sort of a pocket book size. If you read things on the iPhone screen, is much smaller. Okay, but the thing is, I just wanted to put down computer engineering textbook down for a while. I'm going to talk about love because I saw so many people, they brought their kids to the stores and the kids said, well, Dad, I want to play this game. I want to play Angry Birds Real, and the iPod touchscreen is too small for me. Can you buy the iPad for me, please, because I want a larger screen? And Dad didn't care a thing because he loved his kid. So he bought the iPad. No one really cares about all this detail, for all I know. What about the iPhone? Now we got roughly around 70,000 apps that have been tailored or specifically made for the iPad. Okay, so these apps fit the screens of the iPad. But if we run the iPhone apps on the iPad, the size of the app will be very, very small. At the bottom right corner, there is an icon called ×2. But, well, if we increase the size, if we double the size, we will get... So the thing is, sometimes, for iPad we got 70,000, but for iPhone, we got wider range of application. Okay, of course we can run those apps on the iPad, but we will not get the most, but they are not big issues. But, well, you go for the iPhone, you got something that's more compact. Okay, and you got wider range of selections, and you got better cameras because the rear-facing cameras of the iPad gives you only 900,000 pixels, but for the iPhone you got 5 megapixel. You got the flash, but the iPad doesn't have the flash. So, but they are uncomparable. Okay, they are uncomparable. There are something else. It's depending on you.